Does anyone have a bid, solicitation, or proposal that's due in an hour and you need to start so you got time to finish? Or has anybody got one that's due first thing in the morning, or is somebody in a hurry? No? Okay. Does anybody got a bid or solicitation to work on today? You guys still
Hey, John.
Yes.
Yeah, John, this is Trent. I got a question for you.
Okay.
The solicitation that we was working with, they did an amendment. It was in the solicitation. If you open up the solicitation to the right, they updated some stuff, and so they added an amendment and they added a Q&A page.
Okay. And what's your email?
Yeah. It's Trent.Stevens. Yeah. Yeah, that one there. That's the number there. So, yeah, I was trying to, that's my second question, is how do I find that document, that HHS document?
Give me a second. I got people saying they didn't get the invite for the training, so let me email him real quick.
Okay. Yeah, take your time. It's okay.
Hey, Trent, this is Roger with jwayne Security. I'll chime in a little bit here. John, correct me if I'm wrong, but if the attachment was the Q&A, that is probably just an amendment that they put out answering questions that individuals had on the solicitation. They answered a number of questions. They broadcast that out to everybody.
Okay, that solicitation number is incorrect somehow. There's a typo in it.
No, John, if you go back to my email, the solicitation number is in the subject line. Down there. Up there. Up. It's the CRSU 17. Yep, there. Sorry. So over there on the side, the amendment in the Q&A. I think the Q&A is at the bottom. Okay, I think the Q&A is at the bottom. There. So in the Q&A, question number, what question was it? Question number 17, question 17. There. And
yeah,
so
they're just saying that it's not a new contract, that these are services have been provided in the past. They're putting it out for bid again.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. And then the other thing on question number 7, if you go back to 7, I have trouble with saying S's, so sorry.
It's all right.
The incumbent contract number, is it any way we could can retrieve that contract based on that number?
I just tried
Since they made it. and it didn't come up?
No, it doesn't even exist on Google, which means there's either a typo. If you ever get a solicitation number, an opportunity number, and you search an FBO and you can't find it for whatever reason, before you waste any more time, Google it. Because if it doesn't exist on Google, it doesn't exist at all.
Got you.
There's
okay.
There's a lot of services that pull information from FBO automatically. So if you've got a real solicitation number, it's going to show up on all these other different websites. It'll be all over the place. But if you don't find anything, it's an invalid number.
Okay. And then can you look at section 11 and translate that for us, please, for me and Jason?
Right here.
There's something they're asking. No. I'm sorry. Go all the way up to the beginning of the document. It should be the second page. The second page. No, okay, down. Right, down. Okay, right there. Section 11. Right there. This item only applies to amendments or solicitations. But they're asking us to. We got to confirm something. Or look.
Yeah. You got to do what's called an acknowledgement of amendment, which in this case, this is a scanned document, so I can't search it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so by filling out block number 8, and by signing, so blocks 8 and 15, by filling it out, your contact information, and signing it, you're acknowledging amendment. Usually on the standard form. Usually on this standard form, I'm seeing returning 2 copies of the amendment. Okay, so or by separate letter. So we can take, when we submit the bid, we can take a page and put acknowledgement of amendments on it, sign it and date it like a signature page, and that's more than sufficient.
Okay, and that can be sent the day of the deadline.
Correct.
It doesn't have to be sent in advance.
Nope.
It doesn't have to go in advance.
Nope.
Okay.
And usually on these standard forms, at the bottom of the standard form, there's usually a section that says acknowledgement of amendments. And that's where you put the date and the time that it was amended. So in this case, you would put the original synopsis, March 28, 2017, 4:34 p.m. And then the second amendment was on April 17, 2017, 2:47 p.m. And then you sign and date that form and print your name on it. That acknowledges that you recognize the amendments. The only reason why they do that is so people can't say, well, I submitted this bid and then you amended it and I didn't know that. Well, you signed the acknowledgement of amendment. So they're just covering their own asses is all they're doing.
Okay. And then on that letter, if you go up to the first letter, if you go up the first letter, if you go up, see here, that the guy who signed this, his signature block, is this letter giving us okay to contact them directly for additional questions? Because if you look at the bottom, he says, should you have any questions, please contact me. But is that smart?
Yeah, I mean, it's giving you, a lot of times they'll specify that they do not want to be called. They'll say, do not call. They won't list their phone number. He's saying that if you have any questions, you can call or email. I would email her first. As long as you got plenty of time, as long as you got a week or two before this bid is due, email her first with the question, give her a day or two to answer.
Okay, it's actually less than how many days is it, Jason? Are you there?
Yeah, we have 8 days, I believe, for 9 days, I believe, until it's due.
I'd email her today, see if she responds by tomorrow. If not, then give her a call.
Okay. Thank you so much, John.
Yeah, no problem. And she's Native American.
Yes, she is. I saw that, Chasing Hawk.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You got it. Anybody else got a bid, solicitation, proposal, question?
Hey, John.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Hillary over at 24/7. So this will be my first time, and I sent you a solicitation number on a bid that I found. It had a lot of amendments attached to it, so I'm not quite sure if this is something that we should go after.
What email did you send it from?
Through h.fisher at 247. Yep. It's down by the need help. Oh, there it is.
Okay. I'm going to pull this up. In the future, if you could do this for everybody's sake to make it quicker, when you're in FBO and you're working on something, household goods services or packing crating services?
The household goods services.
Okay. So let's say you're working on this and you got a question for me in the future, just copy this address right here and email me that link. And that way when we get on the training, all I get to do is just click on the link. It'll take me right to it. It'll save us a little time down the road. No big deal. And if you're working on a document, for example, let's say you're working on this document and you got a question about this right here.
Okay.
Open your snipping tool like that. And you can take a snippet and paste it right in the email. Whoops.
Okay.
Like that. And then you can ask me a question. Hey, regarding this attachment 1, blah, blah, blah. You can ask me a question, and then I can answer questions throughout the day when you need as well. No big deal. Just takes us time. And you're new, so you didn't know.
Right, right.
Okay. So you just want to know basically where to start?
Yeah, where to start, and then if being able to tell by looking at the different combined synopsis or solicitation, if this is a good opportunity for our company to go after.
Okay. I'm gonna walk you through it today, but I also want to give you some direction whenever you've got some time. Go to YouTube and search instructions to offerer.
Okay.
There's only 151 videos on here. This is all my instructions to offer videos, which are when I'm actually working with somebody on an opportunity on how to submit the bid. So you learn a lot from these. So on your off time, make sure you check these out.
Okay.
All right. Meanwhile, what I do when I work on an opportunity, first thing I do is I look at when it's due. The response date, April 27th. I look at what it's set aside for, make sure it's set aside for something that you qualify for. If it's 8A HUBZONE GSA vet-biz and you're not all the above, you can't bid on it anyway. As long as you got plenty of time to bid and it's set aside for something you qualified for, then you read the synopsis, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What we're looking for is a SOW, Statement of Work, or PWS, Performance Work Statement. It's going to have the word work in it somewhere. More than likely, it's going to be on this document right here. So I'm going to open that, make it bigger. Yep, there's our standard form. So I'm pretty sure the Statement of Work is on here. So I'm going to do a Control F.
Statement.
Okay, so the Statement of Work is not on this page because it only says it on here once. And it's just discussing it. So we're going to look up instructions. Instructions to offerer. And that's only on here once. So we know it's the standard 52.212-1 instructions to offer.
Okay.
Are you there, John? Okay.
Okay, so in this case, they're not calling it a statement of work. They're calling it a performance work statement.
Okay.
There it is. Okay, PWS, performance work statements. This is what it is that they want to buy. Packing, containerizing, local dryage, direct procurement method, personal property shipments. Description of services. There's your scope of work. Tells you what it is they want to buy.
Okay.
All right. And in your instructions to offer, they're using the standard instructions to offer. So they want you to provide them with
Oh, okay. I have that.
cover page, signature page. If they want it printed, you're going to have an index page, the standard form or price proposal, a copy of your refs and certs, copy of the technical proposal. If they request a separate price proposal outside of the standard form, and a past performance, that's what they're looking for. All right.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, that's all. Thank you, John.
You got it. Anybody else have a question, solicitation, proposal?
John, this is Mike Davis. I have a quick question. I'm trying to figure out how long does it actually take, or is this for once it's awarded for the money to actually hit your account, or does that usually vary?
For them to pay you?
Yes.
Everything is averaged on the average. Everything's about 30 days. They usually put stuff out and give you 30 days to submit a bid. It usually takes them 30 days to choose a vendor and award it. They give you 30 days to ship or to start the work. When you complete the job, you're paid within 15 to 30 days. Everything's 30 days on the average.
Got it.
But, it varies per contract. Some contracts are different. Some contracts take longer. Some are rushed, etc. All right.
Thank you.
Hey, John.
Yes.
Hey, this is Zima. How are you? I'm glad that he brought up the whole topic of payment, because my question is this. At what point do you broach the subject of prepayment, especially when you're looking at these bids? I mean, simplified acquisitions is great and all, but you don't exactly know ahead of time if they are going to prepay up front. So when do you ask them about that? At what point?
Usually in FBO, it'll specify that it is a simplified acquisition. So unless you don't have the money to finance it, you need to find that out up front. If you can't afford to cover the cost, You need to find that out up front. Just ask. Send them an email and ask. I have financing options available, and there's companies that will finance contracts. There's companies that will factor your invoices as well.
Got it.
All right. Companies that finance you, the contract has to be a decent size or they're not going to bother with it. They're not going to mess with it unless they can make a good amount of money on it. So unless the contract's $200,000 or $300,000, a lot of those companies won't touch it.
Okay, so in wording, like if you're asking the question to the procurement officer, what would you say? Is this contract up for prepayment? How do you word that?
Yeah, just keep it simple.
Okay.
A way to get a deposit on this contract or a partial payment up front.
Okay. And we don't have to reference any particular clause in the FAR, just keep it simply worded?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, John, this is Trent. I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, in the estimate of value, the contract is a base year plus 4 additional years, which is 5. And in this solicitation, they give Excel templates to fill in. Should we include all 5 years of value or just do 1 year of value?
Usually the standard form has a section for each year. They usually specify it as CLIN numbers. So CLIN 1 is the first year. Excuse me. CLIN 1 is usually the first year. CLIN 2 is the second year, etc.
Okay, so when we're filling in these templates and we're coming up with our total, should we just submit a total value for that 1 year only of the contract proposal?
Ask you for value for each year. It'll usually have 5 CLINs. So it's got year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5. And then sometimes there's a section for you to add those up, give them a grand total as well.
Oh, actually, yeah. Yep, I see it here. It says total contract base plus options. Okay. Okay, I see that. And then a couple more questions. In there that they reference a contracting officer and a contracting officer's technical representative. Is that what we provide, or is that what the government's going to have watching us?
That's what the government's going to have.
Okay, so what do we call in this? Like, what would we? I'm trying to learn the terminology.
You are called
when I'm looking at this.
Offerer is what you are.
The contractor offerer.
Right.
Okay, because I don't see offerer. I just see contractor all over the document. So would that be us still?
You're called the contractor or offerer. You're going to be called one of two things, depending on the purchasing agent. And some documents, like the standard form, have both. Like this standard form, for example. Just have it up. Okay.
Okay.
See right here under 17A, you are called the contractor offerer.
Contractor offerer, okay.
So they'll either call you the contractor, or they'll call you the offerer, or they'll call you both.
Okay.
All
okay.
Right.
Thank you.
No problem.
That was it, sir.
Anybody got a question?
John, this is Melody.
Yes.
In regards to the question I had asked you previously on that solicitation, I did email the agency regarding the question I had if we are to do a new bid for the change.
Okay.
And if we do not hear from them, which I haven't, but if we do not hear from them, should we just go ahead and resubmit or submit another quote for the change?
It wouldn't hurt.
Without the original change, or would you just include the original along with it?
I would modify the original to match the changes.
And then when we're doing a bid in general, I know you said before, do it at least 24 hours, a day ahead of time, before the due date. Is it better to do it sooner than 24 hours?
I do. I always make sure I do it at least a day in advance, if not more, because you know, you're going to run the risk of them modifying or changing it, in which case you're going to have to redo it and resend it. But I don't know. I always give them time, because if they want you to change something or modify something and you submit it at the last minute, you're not going to be able to.
No, if we submitted it too early and they did a change, then we're kind of out of luck.
No,
we'll
then
have
you
to
just modify it and resubmit it.
Okay.
You know, I would submit it at least 24 hours in advance.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's for sure. But I didn't know if it would look better to do it even sooner than that. If that would be recommended.
Yeah.
It would be. Okay. And then also, if it's a government agency, are they all tax exempt?
Yes, the government does not pay taxes.
Do we have to require something if we're going to purchase something and we get something from a vendor? Do we have to prove that this, and can we request from that agency to send us some kind of a exemption form?
You know, most vendors, most suppliers, if you tell them it's for the government, they're not going to charge you taxes, but they're going to require some type of documentation to prove that you're selling it to the government. Otherwise, you pay your vendor tax and you just add it on to the cost, you know, and it's just a loss.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions? Anybody else got a bid, solicitation, proposal, question?
Hey, John, this is Matthew Coburn. How are you doing? Long time. Just got done moving to Fort Collins, but what I wanted to ask you about is I submitted a bid back on like the 17th for some recliners, and on April 10th he emailed me saying, to understand you're not going to be utilizing wide area workflow, correct? I sent him an email back saying I will be utilizing wide area workflow. I am ready to report to submit invoices. He got back to me and he said, get me the dimensions on the chair. So I sent him the dimensions. And then this Monday, he emailed me talking about, asking me about the fabric and if it's antimicrobial. Legally, it's not, the company can't say it's antimicrobial. It's made of recycled material and all that stuff. But it doesn't cause harm to the human body. But considering that it's been almost a month after the bid has been due and he's asking me these questions, and I thought I had included all that information in the technical proposal, but apparently it hadn't gotten attached properly because I was doing all my work from my cell phone last month. But considering that I didn't have all that information in the technical proposal and he's been asking me about it, that's a pretty good sign that he's leaning on awarding the contract to me, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They're not going to reach out to you unless they're interested in hiring you.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I just got to Fort Collins and I got a co-working space, an office space where I have a kitchen and a shower and I could work with my laptop and a locker where I can lock everything up, and it's awesome.
Good job.
Finally able to get to work.
Good job.
Thank you. All right, thank you, John. You have a good day.
You too. Any other questions? Anyone?
Hey, John, I have a quick.
Yes.
Yes, John, I have a quick question. It's Trent. When you're contacting the contracting officer, when they say contact them, I know when we first signed up with you, I think you mentioned, should we use our company email to ask those questions, or should we create a generic one that doesn't affiliate us with our company?
When you know, it's not a bad idea if you're asking a question, you think maybe this purchasing agent's going to look differently, but if I ask this question, maybe they might think it's a stupid question, but I need to know. Yeah, you can always make a fake email and use it to communicate.
Okay. Thank you.
That's what I do when whenever I follow up on a bid that was submitted and it hasn't been awarded yet. Whenever I follow up and ask them, I use a fake email.
Okay. Now, when you say fake, do you mean you don't even use your name?
Correct. I make up a info at governmentcontractsinfo@live.com or something like that and use that.
Okay. Thanks, John.
You got it.
Don, this is Melody again. I did have another question. On a quote or a bid solicitation, if there is no separate indication or statement of work or instructions to offer,
right,
and there is an item to be delivered, do you assume it's the place of performance address? How do we know?
Usually the place of performance address is at the very bottom of FBO. It'll say it right here, contracting office, place of performance.
Yes, but if there's no instructions to offer or statement of work, do we assume the delivery of the item they're requesting is to the place of performance?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yep. Any other questions? Anyone? Bueller?
Okay, last question, John. This is Mike Davis again. Okay. How do I get with your team for the financing piece, considering that happens here in the future? And how does that process actually work?
Send me an email with the solicitation number and say you're interested in learning about financing. I'll take care of it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hey, John, this is Matthew again, real quick. I have a couple people interested in working with me, and I want to hire people as like independent contractors to where they would file 1099s to be brokers under my business.
Right.
They wouldn't need, even though they're independent contractors working for a federal procurement solution, they wouldn't need a cage code themselves. They would just operate under my cage code, correct?
Yes, unless the contract's over $650,000 a year, and there's a requirement for you to sub out a certain portion of contracts over $650,000. A lot of them, there's a requirement in those contracts that you have to sub out 23%, or you could lose the contract. Right. In which case, you're going to have to prove that, and the only way to prove it is to show how much you paid them in the ESRS, and you have to have a cage code to post them in the ESRS. So if you're going to cross that, let me know, and I'll show you how to get them a cage code without being fully compliant, so they still can't compete against you.
Well, I mean, like an employee or a broker, if I hire somebody to work for me, and they're filling out contracts and whatnot, like how would that work? Should I have them file 1099s, or should I hire them as brokers and file Ws?
I don't know. It's based on the rules of your state. You know, the tax laws in your state. Every state's different. So if you need more help with that, I mean, that's kind of a putting a cart before the horse thing. Once you win a contract, you're definitely going to need to deal with that. And at that point, you're probably better off working with an attorney on it. So if you need help with that, if you can't figure it out as far as the state rules, let me know, and I can refer you to an attorney that can help you.
Okay.
All right.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Any other questions?
Hey, John, this is Jason Greer. Got a question for you. Just found a solicitation for a possible training, and it has down that we can contact it has the contact name for the point of contact, rather. When we call, is it possible to, is it cool to ask what their price point is, what they're looking for, or do we just give our best?
You can. They may give it, they may not, but I wouldn't call, dude. Email. Don't call purchasing officers. Email them. If you got time for them to respond, drop them an email. You can ask that question. They may or may not give it to you.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Yep. You want to call them as little as possible because calling people is intrusive.
Gotcha.
Any other questions? No? All right. I'm going to go ahead and shut the training down for today. I'll be back on here tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Guys, want to get on, just email me. Try and email me ahead of time. You got a solicitation you want to work on, copy the address right here and email it. Or if you got a specific question about a document, do a screenshot or a snipping tool and send me a copy of it. And you guys have a good day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, John.
You got it.
Thank you, John.
You got it. Talk to you tomorrow.